What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name's Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. How are you doing? You are looking awesome. Have you looked in the mirror today and told yourself you look awesome? Because you should. Happy Wednesday morning to you. It is Wednesday morning by the time that I am filming this because I decided to lay down and take a little nap in the bathtub, which you should never do, by the way. Yeah. That's a thing that happened. I was just exhausted. I needed extra sleep, and I decided to take a wee little baby nap in the tub. Let me go over my tools really quick before I get started. I am using my pen from Leopard Leatherworks. That was my gift from them for the Marathon for Mental Health, the 24-hour live event. I love this pen. It's very beautiful. I'm also using my tray from Cat Proof Trays. I will make sure that both are linked in the description below. I decided I'm going to try some more to work with the Diamond Art Club's Sparkle Sticky wax putty. I have my own little packet here that I separated out to keep the rest of it, from drying out. But let me get right into it. I have so much to tell you guys. It's been a busy week, and there's so much to cover. I mean, from Wednesday to Wednesday feels like an age, I tell you. I've had to start and restart this a couple of times because beans has been a little bit of a challenge. I will get into that too. But I first want to check in with you guys. How in the hell are you? Like, for real, for real. It's been, it's great to see you, you know what I mean? Like, it's great to be talking to everybody. I mean, I've been kind of keeping up with people throughout the week, and if I've not had a chance to catch up with you, please catch me up in the comments. How are you doing? What's new? What are you working on? That sort of thing, okay? Let me get right into it because, again, I have a lot to go over. It's been a busy week. I took notes even on what I wanted to cover because there were just so many things. And I will get to my my little spiel about mental health stuff like I always do, but let me cover the basics because it's been a week. So on Wednesday, I got to see my son ring the bell for graduation. That was where I kind of left off with you guys, that I'd said by the time that you watch this, I'll be watching my son ring the bell. We did. For sake of his privacy, I will not be sharing any photos of that specific event, but suffice it to say that he did get to what's called ring the bell at school. It's a thing that they do when they graduate, even if they're in the middle of class upstairs. Downstairs, he rings a bell to let everybody know that he's graduated, and everybody hoops and hollers, and it's a big deal because the school that he went to is for kids who face a lot of challenges in school. This don't tend to do well in a typical learning environment. I also did not do well in a typical learning environment. So they offer a little bit of extra help, and he was he busted his butt. So I'm incredibly proud of him. We went to, Texas Roadhouse for dinner to celebrate on Thursday. So, I did the live event on Thursday after the fact, but I was hopping mad. And I know, I did a Thursday Twitch live. And I know that a lot of you don't go over to the Twitch, so you're not, like, necessarily up to date on what's going on over at the Twitch. So I will update you here because, woof. Just the things that went on from Wednesday to Saturday were massive. Okay, so we decided to go to Texas Roadhouse for dinner because we wanted to take the son out to celebrate his graduation. We're leaving our neighborhood, and I fully admit I do not live in like a high class neighborhood. I live in a low income neighborhood. It's mostly just the working poor. But, everybody comes from different places, and I don't judge others for where they come from. So I don't expect anybody to judge me for where I'm coming from, right? Well, anyways, that said, the kids in the neighborhood can be a bit of a challenge, and they destroy property without batting an eye. It's a little sad because we've, had to call the police on numerous occasions for various things. Well, Thursday, we're leaving our neighborhood. We're about to head through the park to leave the neighborhood. And this is a park that they just put thousands of dollars in it to restore. And there's these little girls. Now, little girls makes it sound like they were little girls. They really weren't. They were probably in their teens. I would say no older than 16, no younger than 13, okay, for idea on age range, right? Well, we were heading out of our neighborhood, and I look over out of my window in the car and notice that one little girl is, well, young lady, I guess I should call her. One young lady is, she's got a sapling, one of the trees that they just planted maybe a year ago, bent over, like, ooh, wow. Sorry, I bumped you. She's got this tree bent over, curled, right? And she's standing on it like she's trying to snap this sapling. I can see that they've ripped the bark off of the tree. And I kind of like holler out of my window like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Get off of that tree. Well, so they decide, instead of just, getting up, walking away from the situation, being not crappy little kids, they start flipping me off, cursing, yelling obscenities at me. Well, that was something they should not have done. So I decided to call the police on them, because they could have just gotten up and walked away, and that would have been the end of it. They did not do that. They decided that they were going to start cursing and hollering and whatever at me. And so I decided to call the police. Well, they, after figuring out that we were calling the police, first the group of them gets up. They start like trying to walk away from the park toward our house. We followed them in the car. Ended up following them. The very smart young ladies decided to, not realizing that we were a couple blocks down and sort of circling around them, led us right back to their house, because, geniuses who destroy property are geniuses, right? So, we're sitting outside and across the street in our car from the house that they have stopped at. And they're, kind of resigned at this point. They've sat down on the porch or on the porch stairs. They realize, like, we've caught them. We know where they are. We know where they live. So they've kind of given up on the idea of running away or pretending that they don't live there. Well, I notice this young lady on the porch, and they're talking to her. And she looks like, if I'm honest, she looks like a barely older sister, and she is listening, I'm assuming, to them explain like what we're doing. They're pointing at our car, whatever. I can see older sister, and by older I mean maybe a year, maybe a couple of years, barely 18, if that. She decides to make her way over to the car, my side of the car, because Dustin was driving, makes her way over to the car, and my window is down. And as she walks up, I said, "Hi, are you Mom?" And she said, "No, I'm older sister." I said, "Okay, well, I have no interest in speaking to you. I'll talk to your mother if your mother's around, but otherwise I'll wait for the police to get here." She's like, "Do you realize that you're sitting here looking at little kids? I'm going to call the cops." Like, trying to make it sound like we were, I don't know, pedophiles or something, which, okay, sure. I was like, well, good. I'm glad. You can go right ahead and call the police because they're already on their way over. And so then she starts proceeding to like try to curse me out. Well, I had already told her I wasn't going to speak to her because she wasn't mom. So Dustin rolls up my window and cranks the music so that we can't hear a word she's saying. She continues to me, right? As she's walking back over to their house across the street and just complaining the whole way. So I completely ignore it. She's then sitting back up on the porch. The police finally show up. I explain to them, like, what I saw, which one of the kids was actually, like, doing the damage to the tree, you know, what had happened with the older sister, all of that, whatever. And he said he had already gone over to look at the tree that was still bent over and the bark ripped off of it. And I told him I didn't need anything else from him. I just wanted to make sure that he made it there and knew where they were at before they just decided to run in the house. And then that was the end of it, right? Because honestly, I'm just tired of the kids walking around like they could just do anything. I mean, we've had a lot of incidences where these kids will, in a group or a mob, really, will attack other kids or whatever, and I'm just tired of it. I'm incredibly tired of it. So I'm hoping that at the very least there was a fine involved. I'm hoping that, you know, mom or dad, who, by the way, never showed up, never showed up, will at least do something about it. Now this putty, honestly, it's behaving differently than it did when I was using it yesterday, so I'm not sure what's up with that. I took a little bit of the excess off. Maybe that'll help, or it'll be worse. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I don't know what in the heck. I don't know, you guys. That was Thursday. I then ended up doing the live, and then Friday, I found out Friday morning that my debit card had been essentially stolen. It was used for a Oculus purchase, which Oculus Rift is the VR headset. Well, first, when I called the bank, the lady essentially tried to blame it on my son, and I was like, my son doesn't just use my debit cards without my permission. Like, that's not a thing. She's like, well, I see a purchase on here from last year. I said, well, yeah, I got him a game last year, but that was not a $42 charge, for one. And two, like, he hasn't put anything on his Oculus. I'm looking at it. There's nothing new on here. He hasn't purchased anything, yada, yada, yada. So they had to cancel my debit card. I, of course, had to cut that up, which sucked. It put my bank account into the negative, which it is still, right to this day, sitting in negative because I don't got the money to cover negative charge in my bank while they figure that out, because, of course, not only did it put my account negative, but then there was an overdraft fee. So until they figure all of that out, I'm not touching my bank account. I'm leaving it alone. I have a little teeny fund in PayPal, and I'm just gonna deal with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I've got to go on right now. But yeah, so if you'd like to send me a coffee, you can do so by oh my god, you guys, just ridiculous. My account is like, I don't know, $50 in the negative right now. So until I can figure that out, like, I had to let the things that would normally hit the account with that debit card number go ahead and hit, so that I can figure out what I've got auto paying and all that crap. It's just a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Like, ugh, who likes to have their debit cards stolen? And I think, I don't know, I withdrew a little bit of cash out of the ATM on Wednesday to pay for my son's cap and gown rental. And so maybe that's what it was when I went to the to the ATM. My numbers got swiped or something. I got to put a little bit more on here. Just a little teeny bit. Maybe that's when it happened. I don't know. It pissed me off, though. I'll tell you that much. So, dealing with that. And then, let's see, that was Thursday into Friday. Friday into Saturday. Saturday was moving day. Saturday was moving day. Okay, so I moved my stuff downstairs because I knew that on Sunday my daughter was coming home, and I wanted to make sure that I was out of her room. Pardon my sniffles. If I'm sniffling, I don't even realize I'm doing it. I think I'm getting like a little bit of a tickle at the back of my throat, so let me blow my nose and get a drink really quick. There we go. That's a little better. So anyway, yeah, we being me, we and the frog I keep in my pocket, did all of the moving downstairs. I will post a couple of pictures here as to what the work area looks like. You guys, it is so different to have a space of my own. I will also add up in the cards, I have a tour of my work area that I did, along with like some organizational tips, like the things that I have for organization. You should definitely check that out, because people that have been asking, like, you know, where do you put these things? How do you store these? You know, how do you store your finished works, your unfinished works? It's got all of that stuff on there. So check that out if you're interested. But I moved into the new area, and to not be working on 2 TV trays and a frickin' 1970s chair, like, I even in the end of that video show you what the frickin' chair looks like. It's sad. It's really sad. But to work in an area where I have my own space has just been amazing. The one challenge that I've been dealing with is just the general traffic of the downstairs, and you know, the family, the pets, the you know, traffic outside, the noises, you know, the bird, the dog. I'll include at the end of this, like, what Beans was doing. I had to try and record this video multiple times because Beans was just being impossible. I'll put that at the end. You can kind of hear what I was dealing with. It's pretty amusing because he likes to argue. But yeah, aside from some, you know, challenges on recording, you know, I've got to figure out how I'm going to do my recording for my unboxings. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do recording for my lives or for other things, because, you know, the kids are home now and feel like they need to be downstairs 24 hours a day when they have their own room upstairs, and I do not. So it's just going to be a challenge of trying to figure out who's using this space and when, because I can't just drop everything and record like I want to, which is it's a pain in the butt. So I don't know if nighttime is going to be when I record, but I'm going to have to figure it out. Regardless, I'm incredibly grateful to have the space, to have the freaking desk, the chair. Like, it's just been awesome. Okay, so that leads me into Saturday night, okay, because I got all the things moved on Saturday, got everything. What was Friday night? I built the desk, actually. So yeah, I'll show you those pictures too. I was in the middle of building. I ended up being on the phone with Scorpio Moon, like literally for hours while I'm building the desk, I'm building the chair, you know. She kept me awake, and like overnight Friday basically to get all this stuff built so that by Saturday I could move stuff. So thank you, Scorpio Moon, for keeping me up, helping me, you know, just keep my sanity while I was building the desk, while I was building the chair. So thank you for that. but I did all of it by myself. All of what you see, that was all me. So, anyway, Dustin had work, and it's not a big deal. I was fine. I'm fine. Well, so Saturday night, after I get everything moved, we went to, I did my Twitch stream, like I always do. I ended up, excuse me, cutting the Twitch stream short because I posted a couple, well, I think I posted a couple pictures on the community page. I went to see the Aurora Borealis for the first time in my life. And it was incredible. We went to Aztalan Park, which is here in Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state park that has these earthen pyramids. It's very sacred ground for Native people. The tribe that lived there disappeared, like full on disappeared. There's stories that they left it was the Cahokia tribe, I believe. They left and became like Aztecs. That's why the name Aztalan. It's all very, very weird stuff, right? Well, not important part of the story. The important part of the story is that that place has been significant to me as I am descended of First Nations people. So it is a very spiritually significant place for me, as well as, my husband and I. It's a place that we've gone to see meteor showers and astrological events. We've gone and witnessed them at this place. So the fact that we went there to see the Aurora Borealis was also very special. We brought my son and my son's significant other, and went to go see the Aurora Borealis. And at first, we're up on the hill, the earthen pyramid, for probably an hour, and like nothing is happening. We're waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, people that were parked there are now leaving because they're getting so impatient on seeing the Aurora Borealis, and it's just not happening, right? Because at this point, I think it's like they had said the Aurora Borealis would be visible sometime between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Well, that's a 4-hour window, right? So I'm expecting it could take the full 4 hours. I don't know. I can't make astrological events happen immediately, right? Well, so I'm watching these people leave. There's one couple up on top of the earthen pyramid with us that stayed. And, he was taking pictures of the sky. He's not seeing anything happen. Like, you can see that there's this, like, halo of what looks like white mist kind of over the horizon. And it was pretty chilly up on the pyramid. So I had said to Dustin, like, hey, can we go back to the car just for a minute or two so I can warm up? I'm really cold. I wore a light jacket. It was a dumb idea that I didn't bring something warmer. That was my own fault. But I'm like, can we go back to the car and get warmed up a little bit? And so we ended up going back to the car. We're sitting in the car getting warm, and Dustin looks out the window toward the pyramid, and he's like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Starts freaking out. And we can see that this, like, haze that we had seen over the horizon is now starting to streak up, and still white, still looks white, but is like starting to streak up into the sky. And we quick jump out of the car, take Beans, because we had Beans with us, take Beans back up, toward the earthen pyramids, and Dustin snapped the coolest picture. I'm going to put it up on the screen for you. So what you're seeing in this picture is the earthen pyramid, okay, with the Aurora Borealis in the background. And you see like two couples kind of on the hill. There's the couple that was standing there that we're watching, and then my son and his significant other are the other couple that's standing on the pyramid. Off to the left, you see the Cahokia tribe that lived there. They put up these huge timbers, like almost like a fort, and they used it as a, you know, a lookout because you can see a lot from on top of this pyramid. But that's what you're seeing is the earthen pyramid with the couple that was up on the hill with us that was watching, and then my son and his significant other, and the Aurora Borealis is just exploding behind them in the sky. It was a fast, like it happened very quickly, maybe I would say a couple of minutes at most, and then it, as quickly as it began, it ended. And we stuck around for probably another 45 minutes after that. Nothing more happened where we were. I don't know about other places, but we didn't see any more of the northern lights or the Aurora Borealis the rest of the evening. But honestly, I've gone 43 years. I've never seen it. Dustin told me when we first started dating 20 years ago, yeah, there are parts of Wisconsin where you can see the Aurora Borealis. And I'm like, I've never seen it. I've never seen it. And every year I give him a hard time, like, you know, you've promised me Aurora Borealis and I've never seen it happen. Like, I just don't think it actually happens here. And then it did. So it was just really, really, really cool. Awesome experience to see in person. Nothing I've ever witnessed before in my lifetime. So that was Saturday night, okay? I haven't even got through the weekend yet. Anyhow, I got everything moved Saturday into Sunday. Sunday was like, get the rest of everything else done downstairs, you know, prepped, whatever. But I didn't have much time in the morning to get started because I had to go to my daughter's graduation. My daughter just graduated college, cum laude from Beloit College, the oldest college in Wisconsin. And she was just, honestly, she was on the dean's list every freaking opportunity. She's a fantastic student. She graduated on Mother's Day. That was when they had their graduation ceremony. And it was really emotional in a lot of ways. The speaker was two speakers, actually. One was apparently a now former member of, I believe he was a House representative in Tennessee. He was a House member in Tennessee who graduated from Beloit College. Young man, youngest man, I believe, to have ever served. Young African American. He was ejected from the House for protesting gun violence, which I thought was very interesting. It was him and his significant other, fiance. They both were Beloit graduates and excellent speakers. Oh my gosh, it was just beautiful. And they talked a lot about, you know, the significance of where we were standing, as, you know, Beloit College is among a bunch of burial mounds. In fact, the area where we were at in front of the main building is just surrounded by burial, like, mounds, right? Burial mounds. And, so that was significant. The fact that it was Mother's Day was significant. And his fiance, when she was speaking about her kind of struggles when she went to Beloit College herself, and how she'd lost her mother when she started college, and she just, you know, dealt with that challenge. And it was hard for me because I know that if there's any event that my mother would have really been proud to go to, it was Aurora's graduation, her college graduation. Um, I still get really emotional about that because, you know, it would have been very significant to her. Well, when they were doing, like, they were calling people up to receive their diploma and whatever, it was interesting because, you know, I notice Aurora, that's my daughter, cross the stage. She begins to cross the stage as they call her name. And as they called her name, I noticed this butterfly land on the tree next to me. Oh my God, you guys. When I say like I burst into tears, oh, I cried like a baby. I took a picture of the butterfly. I will put that up. I don't want to put up, you know, I'll show you a picture. Obviously, I will have shown you a picture of the grounds that we were on. That was the crowd, just part of the crowd where I was. And then the butterfly on the tree. It landed right next to me on the tree. And I felt like, you know, Mom got to be there. I showed Aurora the picture. She bawled like a baby. But yeah, it was just really a great day. It was really a great Mother's Day. It was an expensive Mother's Day gift, right? Most expensive gift she could give me. Her college graduation. But then she ended up moving home that evening. She did all of her moving out basically right after graduation and got her stuff home pretty much directly after. It was very, very fast. Now, her significant other that she's been with for 4 years, almost 5 years, because they started dating while I was just before I went to inpatient rehab, they started dating. So they've been together almost 5 years. And in fact, they might have hit their 5-year graduation, their 5-year anniversary, pretty recently, or it's coming up, one of the two. Well, he's still got another year left because he's a year younger than she is. And he'll be returning to Beloit College because that's where he also goes next year. She's going to go back for a 5th year because she's going to do a teaching year where she's going to be a teacher, like a TA with her music professors because she wants to be a music teacher. Now, she wanted to be a musical therapist, but she really wants to work with disadvantaged kids from disadvantaged homes. And musical therapist is not something that disadvantaged kids can really afford. So she kind of rerouted. Her music teachers have always been very affecting to her in her life. And so I think she thought maybe that would be where she could do the most good. More power to her. I am really, really proud of both of my kids for, you know, breaking a generational sort of curse. I call it a curse, but, you know, I talked about that my last WIP and chat. So, yeah, just a busy weekend. And then, you know, Monday, I tried filming. It was, like, impossible. So, like I said, I'm trying to figure out the schedule on how I'm going to get everything done, you know, like the times and things like that. But, yeah, so, like, when videos didn't go up on Monday, I'm sure people were very confused, but it was just such a busy weekend. There was, like, no way. There's no way. I'm like, oh, I'll get some things up, but oh my goodness. I'll do my best. I'm going to do my best. But I did get some things up. There's content for the week and, you know, whatnot. So, anyways, woof. Yeah, it was very, very busy. So, topic for discussing the mental health portion. I want to talk a little bit about the impact of social media and technology on mental health. Now, it might seem kind of out of the blue or whatever on this topic, but it isn't. I wanted to discuss these things because when I went into rehab, right, inpatient rehab, I talk about how I basically like secluded myself, shut off everything, deactivated my Facebook, deactivated my Twitter, deactivated everything, whatever. I hadn't really rejoined the world of social media until Reddit. And then my Reddit journey led me to my YouTube journey. So anyway, the reason that I wanted to discuss it is because I recently noticed my son having some sleeping issues and some seemed to me like not necessarily depression, but just upticks in his general anxiety, his general like self-image, things like that. And we discussed a little bit about like what was different in his, like, I don't know, viewing habits, his consumption of media habits, things like that. And as it turned out, like he had been more active on social media than he had been, because we were going over like, well, let's go over your phone usage, because obviously their phones are pretty much like their lifeline to everything, whatever. And how your phone will tell you, oh, you've used 2 hours more whatever than last week, or what have you. Mine does anyways. I don't know about yours, but and I do pay attention to those sorts of things because my consumption is usually in watching YouTube videos or listening to WIP and chats or whatever while I'm diamond painting. So I do kind of pay attention, but I'm really not on social media like that. Like I don't do it. And I have to tell you, honestly, even though it was a shock at first, and I almost had to detox from Facebook because I was on Facebook so much before, but what it did for my mental well-being, just to like separate and get the hell off of social media, was massive. The benefits to, I mean, if cutting all the way off of social media is not going to be a thing for you, if that's not going to be a possibility for you, at the very least, paying attention to and limiting the time that you spend on social medias is really, really wildly important. So I did a little bit of research, right? I wrote some things down. I wanted to have, some cohesive thoughts put together. And I wrote down and researched the top 10 reasons that you should limit or eliminate social media or technology and the benefits of doing so. Okay. So, I hope this becomes cohesive as I'm like kind of going over the things that I researched and wrote down, and you can benefit from something that you learn. Okay. So, one reason that you should eliminate social media and technology is improved mental health, right? Like I was saying, when I was able to shut it all down, oh my gosh, excessive use of social media can lead to anxiety. It can lead to depression, feelings of inadequacy, especially when you're comparing yourself to others. And then you're constantly exposed to their highlight reels, right? Because people either A, share the awesome things that are going on in their lives and, their perfect lives, which they're really not. They're masking the same as you are, right? Or how crappy their lives are. They're sharing everything about everything to do with how crappy their lives are. It's really, really, really hard to be exposed to that constantly. It does a lot to you, right? So the benefit, reducing your screen time leads to lower stress levels. It improves your mood, and it gives you a stronger sense of self-worth because you're not so worried about what everybody else is doing, how they're doing it, what they have, what you don't, what they're doing, what you're not doing. Like, look at all these fabulous trips this person goes on, and I've never left my home state. Or, look at all of these people and their beautiful teeth and their wonderful jobs and their whatever. And then you start comparing yourself out. So it's important that you do so for improved mental health. Now, the second reason that you should eliminate or at least limit your social media and technology use is better sleep quality. Ooh, now I can't really say much about sleep quality or sleeping. I don't do a whole lot of that. But that's more, I think, to do with my autism than anything. It does cause a lot of insomnia, and so that I don't think has anything really to do with my technology use. It might, but the blue light that's emitted by the screen can interfere with the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep in the first place, right? Yes, I know, you've probably heard this a gajillion times. The blue light, it's not good for you. Well, I have a screen thing on, so it's fine. And I mean, okay, cool. If you don't have that filter on your phone, consider using it. See if it helps you. It actually might. Staring at that screen, it's not good for you. The benefit of reducing that, like I said, especially before bed, can improve your sleep quality. And when you sleep better, you feel better. Your health is better. And you can be more productive during the day, right? And speaking of productivity, obviously, limiting your social media use or technology use can lead to enhanced productivity. You get more done. Do you know how many times I had to tell girls that worked for me that they needed to get off of their frickin' phones? They weren't doing anything except for sitting and dicking around on social media, like looking at TikTok, looking at Facebook, texting their significant others or whatever the heck they were doing. That wasn't their job, right? It's major distractions. It reduces your focus and your efficiency in working or studying. How often are you in the middle of, studying for something and you found yourself distracting yourself with your phone or with your computer all the time? How many times are you sitting at your desk at work and you're like, just one more YouTube video, Well, your screens are designed to keep you there. Everything that you look at, everything that you consume on social media, even YouTube, is designed to keep you on for as long as humanly possible. So, keep those things in mind. No, I don't want you to stop watching my videos. I don't want you to limit yourself on my videos, of course. But that said, eliminating or even limiting some of your social media and technology use can really enhance your concentration make you better at your job, make you better at paying attention to others. You know how much it drives me nuts when I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody and they're and they're looking at their screen? Ugh, so rude. So freaking rude. I just want to slap their phone down out of their hand just to see if they're paying attention to me, because usually they're really not, right? Another reason that you should limit or, you know, eliminate social media use or technology use is building stronger personal relationships, right? So you use all this social media and it reduces the quality time that you spend with your family and your friends. And it affects real life relationships to have these cyber relationships. Like I was saying, do you know how nuts I get when somebody's just looking at their phone, just staring at their phone, at their screen, and not paying any attention to me? It makes me just crazy. It makes me crazy. So obviously, it can improve communication with others and strengthen your bonds with your loved ones, especially if you feel like you're paying attention to them. Because nothing feels worse than like talking to somebody and then feeling like they're ignoring you entirely for a phone or whatever, a screen. Obviously, the less time that you're spending on social media, the more time that you have for physical activity. Probably you don't get up and walk or move around as much as you should. You probably have had on your, list of, what do you call them? New Year's resolutions. Oh, I need to walk more this year, or I need to hike more. I want to get out and do more outdoor stuff. And then how often do you just not do that, instead to sit and veg on a couch, or just another video, just another TikTok, just another, whatever it happens to be? Well, you can certainly take your favorite whip and chat person named Naomi from HouseOfMiscellania, and you can certainly listen to me while you're out taking a walk, right? Getting yourself some physical activity, because sitting in your house and stagnating is not doing you any good, right? You can reduce your technology use and encourage a more active lifestyle, which gives you better physical health overall, right? It enhances your creativity to limit the time that you spend looking at a screen. You're actually sapping your creativity by staring at a screen all day long, right? You're constantly consuming digital content and it stifles your creative thinking. So take some time away from the time you would spend looking at screens and spend some of that time writing, reading, drawing, diamond painting. You know what I mean? Spend some time on other activities, because you're only doing yourself a disservice and your imagination a disservice when you're just scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through whatever. Now, obviously, YouTube is a little bit different of an animal, because long form content on here can be very, very rewarding depending on what you're looking at. You know what I mean? So obviously there are exceptions, but sitting watching, 80 hours of shorts all day, every day, it's not doing you any good. Obviously there's also a greater mindfulness and presence when you limit your technology use or eliminate social media. How many times are you walking around looking at your phone, like texting and driving, but you're not driving, you're walking. You're just sort of like paying attention to your screen. I've done this where I've been looking at my phone, but going up my stairs, and then you hit that ghost step at the top where there's not actually a step there. You just, in your mind, you counted more steps than existed, and you stumble and almost break your face against a wall. Anybody else do that? Because I have. You know, being mindful and present in the moment. That's very, very important. You could really hurt yourself. Not only that, but you should not text and drive. You should not be flipping around your phone or trying to scroll through whatever while you're driving anyway. Walking's bad enough. That's usually how it starts. But texting and driving, ooh, please don't do that. Please, 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 for me, don't do that. You can also improve your self-esteem, honestly, by limiting your screen time or eliminating social media. It can perpetuate, social media can perpetuate really unrealistic standards. And then, like I said, you compare yourself with others. It negatively impacts your self-esteem. If you think that everyone else is perfect and you're garbage, like, how's that supposed to make you feel? If all these people have these great lives and yours is garbage, how's that supposed to make you feel? You know, cut that crap out. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. I don't have social medias in that way anymore, and I have no interest in ever going back. I enjoy the relationships that I've built on YouTube and Reddit, but that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm never going back to Facebook the way that I was, where I had, you know, thousands of friends, and I sat just fretting over what everybody else had, what I didn't, what everybody else was doing, and I wasn't. Like, it felt like crap. You know what I mean? And just getting rid of it. Just getting rid of it. Or at least, you know, reducing your exposure to it can lead to greater self-esteem and greater self-confidence. Also, it reduces your, this is a touchy subject, but, or can be anyway, your exposure to misinformation. Do you know how often you are lied to when you are watching certain ads or consuming certain social medias? You know, like, there have been so many hoaxes, and there have been so many things that you're looking at where you're perpetuating these things as fact, and then you find out later, like, it was AI, or it was you know, it was whatever, computer rendered, or whatever. Just like lies from news outlets, lies from media. And again, do you know how much it benefits your mental health to not have to just consume and consume and consume that crap all day, every day? I'll tell you, it does wonders. It really, really does. You can also develop better cognitive function. I know that seems like strange to think that, you know, if you're multitasking between various digital platforms, it actually impairs your cognitive function and your attention span. It does damage to those things. Where you think you're multitasking, you're actually splitting your brain between too many tasks and asking it to do too much, right? How many tabs do you have open? Like, typically on your computer? I know I have way too many all the time. You are stretching yourself too thin cognitively, and you're not doing yourself any favors. Focusing on one task at a time without digital interruptions can actually improve your cognitive abilities, like memory and critical thinking. So just take the screen time down, or, you know, if you can't eliminate it, at least, maybe try to do an hour less every day, or whatever, and really focus on just putting that hour towards something else, anything else. Walking, spending time with your dog, spending time with your loved ones, spending time with whatever. Just actually focus on spending that time, just an hour every day, instead of being on your different various social medias or technology, and focus that energy and that attention on something else. And if it doesn't improve your life, I will eat my shoe. Okay? Now, that's not to say to isolate yourself or whatever. Obviously, if you use social media to be social, that's great. But still, limiting your time will do wonders for you anyways, even if you're using it for that. So, anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed my TED Talk on limiting your screen times and or social media use. That said, you guys, it is really important that you don't isolate, that you make relationships with people. So if sometimes social media is the thread that's kind of keeping you in touch with people and keeping you social, like it does for me, by all means, do what you got to do. But I really do think that if you just took an hour, and just one every day, and put it towards something else, I think you would find that you'll be happier for a lot of different reasons, right? All of that said, I wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate you. I thank you for sticking around for the Whip and Chat. If you enjoyed this Whip and Chat, go ahead and hit a like down below. Subscribe if you like diamond painting content and you want to see more diamond painting content from me. Otherwise, you can always join as a member of the Dazzlers, the Dusty Dazzlers. There's a link down below for that. And as ever, you guys, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is where you're at. All right, you guys, till next time, much love, and I'll see you soon, okay? Take good care of yourself. Bye-bye. What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary? Wow. Try that again. All the things, right? Beans, come on, buddy. Come on, dude. Thank you. Beans is just, seriously, he needs attention, and he's having a hard time with not getting any right this minute. Let me go deal with that. One moment. You guys have no idea. This is ridiculous. Like, he's flopped himself on the floor. He is pretending to swim sideways. He's doing that. The move downstairs has been a challenge. So anyways, wow. Just, I'm going to try and ignore. It's really hard to do that. But he's just pitching kind of a fit because he wants attention. That's a Pyrenees for you. I don't know if any of you... And bless you, bird. And my bird pretends to sneeze. That's how she gets attention. I just cannot with these animals. So anyway. Beans. Enough, dude. No. Must you talk back? Bro. Uh-huh. Yep. This is what I deal with. He lays on the floor and he pitches a fit because he wants attention or whatever the heck he wants. He's been fed. He's been petted. He's been loved. And this is what he does. Yep. He did this during the live. This is my life.